happy to be with you today. I'm very excited actually to have this honor of presenting you this new concept. It's not that often actually that we introduce a new concept in an industry, and also, you know, from a theoretical perspective in the academic world. You hope when you do that, that it's going to spread more research afterwards. You hope that in a couple of years you enter the dictionary. So it's you know, very, very exciting. And when we entered this journey 5 months ago, roughly, I mean, it sounded a little bit like crazy. So I would like now, because now I think about it, I would like to take the chance of saying thank you to all people who actually took part to this research. So the 18 panelists who we actually challenged even during the Christmas time for this research. And also, as you will see, some people have contributed in another way to the research, thanks to their contribution in the workshops that we handled in Sicily and Monte Carlo. So I would like also to thank them for their contribution. So, this being said, let's have a look at this new concept in the travel industry, but also, as I said, in the luxury industry, because it's new in luxury as well. So we have spoken a lot about haute-façon during this day, this afternoon, and maybe you already know, I'm sure you know about haute couture. Haute couture, those incredible outfits, barely wearable, I mean at least in the street, but which are showcasing, you know, the mastering of a maison of couture. Maybe you already know, we've heard things about high watch industry, so haute horlogerie, also haute joaillerie, high jewelry, and the mix of both. We also had the example with Audemars Piguet about the mix of jewelry and the watch industry. But did you know about haute cuisine? Alors, you've heard about haute cuisine. I don't know how much you knew about that before. A very codified way of conceiving cooking. But haute cuisine is not only about dishes, it's also about haute pâtisserie, top right for you. Haute pâtisserie is about dessert. It's a very French way of conceiving food. And you have done haute chocolaterie, so it's about chocolate. We've heard haute maletterie also. And even more crazy, maybe you think, we have haute coiffure, haute hairdressing. So all this being said, what you understand is that French people, we love conceptualizing, you know, what is at the tip of excellence, craftsmanship, and very exceptional things. So we believed on the travel lab, which had been actually set up by Quentin, believed at some point that it would be time in 2018 to define a new concept for your industry, guys, and this is time for you to meet Haute Villégiature. How did you say Haute Villégiature in English? Okay. So, as Quentin told you, the approach was very scientific, okay? The reason why we wanted that is that we wanted to be a good foundation, and we also want to have credibility, you know, in the overall world, not only professional world, but also, as I said, from an academic perspective. So I won't bother you with the academic methodology, which is very boring, but you have to, you have to know that it has been conducted as an academic research. And by the way, it will be presented also to academic conferences, and hopefully I will manage to publish it also in books and journals, academic journals. So some key data about that. The way we did it is actually conducting what we call a Delphi study. I don't know how much you know, guys, about Delphi study, but a Delphi study is a research that you conduct with a panel of people that you consider experts about one topic, and you ask them some questions, or more precisely, you show them some assertions, some statements. You ask them to rate the statement on a scale from 1 to 10, to say how much they would agree about those statements as good definitions for what you inquire. You do that until you reach consensus. Okay, so until all people agree on the rating. If the rating is low, like for example 5, 6, or 7, you don't keep it as a statement for your definition. If it is a good rating, 9, 8, or even 10, if you are very lucky, and we actually got a 10, you keep it, of course, for your definition. So as we already said, we had 18 panelists from all around the world. So really, literally all around the world: Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, North America, and South America. So really everywhere. We also had people from various industries. So we have DMCs, we have travel agencies, hospitality, private jet, and yacht industry. So kind of diverse, experts. And we ended up with a list of statements, which were composed of 29 statements, which are all coming from the various definitions that we have about haute cooking, haute coiffure, haute couture, and so forth. So all the haute-façon definitions, when you gather all the commonalities among them, we ended up with 29 statements, and that were the statements proposed to the pool of experts. One of actually the statement that reached consensus is about one specific topic, and we were quite lucky because we also inquired by chance, I would say, in this topic during, as I told you, 2 workshops. And this was actually involving some of you. We conducted some studies on the wow effect. I don't know how many of you remember, writing these personal stories on a sheet of paper in Monte Carlo and Sicily, but we actually collected data from 150 travel members and partners, okay? So both of them. So, you will tell me, so what? So what? So as I told you, I will not make the exact same presentation because it doesn't look like very academic. So I have to be, with figures, statistics, kind of boring things. But I will actually present the new concept to a pool of academic researchers in Singapore in May. It's a conference organized by Singapore Management University, and you can see that it is partnered with the LVMH chair. So it's the chance at the same time to be acknowledged by a big player, I would say, in the luxury industry. Was selected, the study was selected, the rate of acceptance is 1 out of 10 usually. So it's. So what is Haute Villégiature? Haute Villégiature is about designing and delivering travel experiences. Haute Villégiature is about living things. Okay, it's not about just being there, it's about actually living through them. It's not about just making it, but it's really about the design and the delivery. Okay, so it's the whole process from the initial point to the final point. So all the point of contact with the consumers, the clients, are part of the experience. With the highest quality standards. Okay, so no compromise on that, it should be the highest quality standards. Then we have to define what would be the highest quality standards, of course, but still it is about that. This is made by highly knowledgeable people who are experts in their business and led by passion. This is fundamental and very important. When we speak about craftsmanship, when we speak about haute-façon, generally speaking, we speak about passionate people. I mean, when you are in Switzerland, in those very remote areas, rush areas in the Middle Age, as it was shared, you have to be passionate about what you do if you want to do it well. Sorry. Each maison, each maison in the broad sense, so travel designers, could be the hotel, could be the yacht owner, whatever, would have his own style and personality. And this style of personality is coming from creation and innovation. The idea here is to surprise and exceed the expectations of the client. Okay? Meaning that you still have to know the expectation of your client if you want to exceed. Of course, these clients are going to be unique and they have specific expectations, not to say impossible expectations, but we've heard from Pinel and Pilen that nothing is impossible. So actually, nothing is impossible and you have to exceed this impossible. So it's even more. Overall, the objective of Haute Villégiature is to be a wow factor in the travel industry. So this is why, when we ended up with this statement, we said, okay, let's show also the results that we had on a wow factor. What would be a wow factor, for, in the travel agency, generally speaking? So what is the wow factor? The wow factor is going to involve several components. One of the first and primary components, the most important one, I would say, would be people. People means that you cannot have a wow if you are alone on your remote island without any connection to anyone, even if this connection is passive. So what do I mean here? I mean that you can be with people as an active way of being with people. For example, sharing moment, giving gifts, okay? Receiving a gift can be also a wow moment. It can be the family, as for example, you know, the birth of your first child, okay, can be a wow moment. But it can also be passive. For example, if you are watching a play or you are watching an opera and you feel like these artistic talents are, you know, wow for you, still you are in contact with people, the people who are actually performing. It can be also about a speech. You can have an inspiring speech given by a politician, given by a leader, given by your first teacher of, I don't know, philosophy teacher that you found great, and you had a wow moment at the same time. Okay, this is possible as well. It can be also human achievement, like a great exploit which is made by someone. For example, you've seen the Olympic Games and maybe you have been impressed by this person, you know, because of what he has done, and you feel like it's impossible as a human being to do something, but still some people do it. So this can create a wow moment. People is not enough. What we need beyond people is going to be the place. The place meaning at the same time the setting. Alors, according to the study we have made and what you said, I mean, to have a wow effect, we need a dangerous and powerful nature. Okay, so then the level of what is dangerous and powerful depends on people, of course, but still it should be a little bit challenging. It's also a unique place. You don't have a wow moment in something which is very routine, if you want. It has to be creating souvenirs, memories. Again, if you think about the Grand Tour that we just had the video, you know, it's of course it's about discovering a place, but it's also about bringing back home some souvenirs, some memories. I mean, physical ones in that case, okay, materialistic one in that case, but it can also be souvenirs, mental one. And it's about a remote area. Okay, again, it has to be remote, even if it's a remote area, more philosophically speaking, I would say in your mind than for real, but it has to be remote for you. It's also about activities. So, for example, the first time you do something. Okay, it's also arts, trying arts for the first time you play violin, could be a wow moment, I don't know, maybe. Maybe not violin, but I mean... It's about time building. It's a wow moment is something that you experience more and more with time also, okay? And it's about perfection and simplicity. And we are very lucky here because perfection and simplicity are just, you know, two very important criteria to luxury, as you may remember from last year's conference, Essence of Luxury. A wow moment is something which is very selfish. You experience a wow moment for yourself. You don't observe people and feel like because of what they have a wow moment. We experience a wow moment for ourselves. We don't say this guy is experiencing a wow moment. So it has to be self-oriented, which means that in your activities, you know, to be very practical, you need to also let the client be the actor of the experience. It cannot be a passive experience. If this is a passive experience, so by the way, it's no more the definition of experience. Experience is I live through it. So if it's an active experience, you have to let him be the actor, the way you want, and maybe this is part of your style and personality, but you have to let the client be the actor. So, in a short, Haute Villégiature is about creating wow moments, and a wow moment is about a story you can tell. So, I would say, and we will see some videos illustrating that afterwards, but I would say that you guys, even if you don't aim at belonging to Haute Villégiature, you can still tell your own story and create this wow moment. And that moments like these days, this week actually, is a great opportunity to have your turn now to build with one another these stories. Thank you very much. We have a couple of videos to illustrate some points, to be more, maybe less conceptual and more practical. So thank you for your attention, and let's enjoy the video.